Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So finally it's here, the Chanel Spring 2016 collection has hit certainly the standalone boutiques in London, and I suspect will be hitting the department stores this coming Friday. So I thought I would take this very early opportunity to show you the items I picked from the collection and explain why I picked those and my very initial impressions. I haven't really had a chance to try any of these items out to report fully on how they work out. And although I swatched most of the items in the shop, obviously, my picks were based a lot on what I have in my collection already. So, I think everybody agrees that the star of this collection is the Sunkissed Ribbon Harmony de Blush, Blush Harmony. It's an absolutely beautiful design, and I think it's also a very versatile product. So I think it's a bit of a no-brainer that Chanel collectors and fans are going to be getting this blush. But I personally also think it's a great item to look at seriously if you're not a serious Chanel collector but have always wanted one of their blushes. I think there are a lot of arguments for saying this is a really good one to splash your money on. And you will have to splash your money, sorry, a bit of a hair there, because it's £44, which is not cheap. The prices of makeup, they just seem to be, going up and up and up. Anyway, here is this little beauty. You've seen the promotionals. Beautifully divided into different colours with the ribbon imprinting and the Chanel textured into it. I have to say the Chanel lettering I think will wear off pretty quickly because the colours aren't as deeply engraved or embossed with patterning as some of the I don't know what's wrong with my mouth today. I think it's because I haven't been talking very much so far. The engraving isn't as deep on this particular palette as some of the previous ones we've seen, so I do think if you use it, it's going to wear off pretty quickly. I'm certainly going to use mine. I know some people are actually buying backups so they can use one and keep one in a pristine condition. Honestly, no one's going to come and look at my museum collection of Chanel, so I just use mine. Now, the colours seem very reasonably pigmented. This is the obvious, very basic but beautiful colour that a lot of people are going to use on a daily basis or be able to. A very pretty peachy pink, and there are two ribbons of that, and also a very decent area of this more bronzy coral colour that will appeal to a lot of people on an everyday basis as well. And then there are three more slightly startling colours. This almost quite orangey, very deeply pigmented, quite a bit of fallout there, orange, coral, and you can see there how I've rubbed off now for you the Chanel lettering, so it, isn't profoundly printed. A very deep reddy pink, it reminds me of Malice a little bit, and a very vibrant fuchsia. They're all pigmented with finger swatches. I did do a quick sweep over of all the colours to wear last night with my favourite blush brush, which is a kind of medium dense brush from MAC. And you can see it's a much more forgiving but definite colour wash. Very, very pretty on the cheeks. And even with a softer brush, this Shiseido, you could work with the very densely pigmented colours without going overboard. So the cons to this palette, obviously you're getting a decent amount of product overall, but some of the colours are quite small ribbons if you're trying to use them individually. I think, you know, there's the opportunity to do that, but most people are just going to swipe the brush over all of it. In common with a lot of Chanel blushes, there is a fair amount of glitter in there, particularly in this one. It's not really showing up on the monitor, but it is there. I wouldn't say overall it's a very glittery appearance on the cheeks, but it is there, and there is a degree of fallout. And so if you are very hostile to any glitter or glisten and like a purely matte pigmented blush, then this isn't for you, and indeed a lot of Chanel powder blushes wouldn't be for you. I actually think that Chanel do shimmer and glitter exceedingly well in their powder blushes. They just add dimension without going over the top, in my opinion, but I know some people don't agree. So if you are anti-glitter, then at the very least don't order this sight unseen. Go and look at it, swatch it for yourself on the counters. But all that being said, I think if you're up for trying a Chanel blush, this is the one to go for, because it is so versatile, so pretty. It's everything that Chanel do very well, so go for it. So I spend a lot of time on that one. The other big item possibly is the eye palette in this LA collection, which I didn't get. I'm not a huge fan of the Chanel quads, although I do think the reformulation of a year and a half, 2 years ago is successful. This one has a couple of very vibrant colours in, blue, violet, a kind of very light gold, and what a lot of people have talked about as an aubergine plum. It's actually very, very dark, almost black, certainly in the one I looked at, the tester in Covent Garden. I liked the violet and I liked the very pale gold shade, and they were both a nice texture. The blue was very flaky and dry, and that may have been a problem with the tester, although they'd only been out since Friday morning, and I was looking at it yesterday, Saturday evening, admittedly under hot lights, so that wasn't terribly impressive if that's the reason. And I personally don't go for black eyeshadows, so I knew that number 4 was a no-no to me in that particular palette. I would say one word of caution. All the promotional photos that I've seen of the palette show the violet as being very, very vibrant, almost a purple violet. It's much closer to a kind of lavender shimmer in reality. Now, I personally really liked that. I find that quite a flattering shade if I just want to brighten up my eyelid area, but it is not how it appears in a lot of the promo photos, so beware of that if you're ordering sight unseen. The Illusion d'Ombre are in a bright cobalt blue, the ocean green, which is very pretty, and one of their more kind of more mundane, fleshy peach tones. None of them were appealing to me. There are I think 6 lipsticks, a Rouge Allure Velvet in a nice pink, a Rouge Allure in a pinky red, 3 Cocoa Shines, nothing exceptional, but pretty vibrant colours, kind of fuchsia orange from memory, and a bright pink, a gloss. Then there's a mascara, which is a lavender plummy shade. Nice, but I'm already stocked up on those. You know that I love these stylo yeux, and there are 3. I don't know, somebody asked me on Instagram which of the collection generally was limited edition. I kind of assume that everything's limited edition, unless told to the contrary. So I didn't actually ask. I'm pretty sure all of the stylos will, because they always are. I bought 2 out of 3. There's also a beautiful, quite glittery cobalt blue which was just gorgeous, very electric. If you bought into the Jazz collection last year, it would be a beautiful partner for those, but I just haven't used my blue. I did go for the ocean green. I think this is absolutely stunning, and I did try this out last night. It's almost a kind of grey, silvery green. I quite like greens. I'm not supposed to because I'm a blue-eyed blonde, but this one really looks pretty, I think, and brings out my eye colouring. And I think it's a beautiful pair with an old Illusion d'Ombre called Epatante, if you have this one. They go together really well. This is a very old one. So couldn't resist that. Very nice soft colour, totally waterproof. Had the Devil's Own scrubbing it off with the waterproof mascara remover last night. And then this one, also stunning, Purple Chalk, which I thought was brown to begin with. You can see it looking very dark there, but if you get it in the right light, not showing up quite as purple as it does look to me off the monitor. Again, bit of glitter in there, very subtle, just shows us texture, I think, round the eyes. If you're a fan of the waterproof stylo, not to be missed. Running out of time, so I'm not going to talk a lot about the one nail varnish Sunrise Trip. It's a gloss, not a vernis. They come out with these occasionally. And they tend to have a kind of thinner consistency. There's Sugar Gloss from the past and Apricot Gloss. You can see they tend to be a bit more watery. I haven't had a chance to put this on yet. Can't wait to, but it's not going to be suitable for work tomorrow, so it'll have to wait till later in the week. And you can see out of the bottle, it's a very violet blue. The assistants were wearing it in the shop, and it looks stunning, especially I think for this time of year more than spring. It's quite a rich colour, but with a certain translucency because of the formula. I'll be interested to see how it wears, and I'll report on that a little bit more later on. Obviously, if you're a Chanel polish collector, this is one to get, especially as they're going to be changing the packaging soon. And I'm going to have something to say about that in due course. But running out of time now, those were my picks. Blush, I think, is an absolute must-have. And I definitely think those liners are worth a look as well. But there are a lot of pretty products. I hope you have a happy time choosing for your selection. Until next time, bye for now.